Yo. Hold on. Yo. Please let me know if you can hear me okay. We are back in the building. Today we have a very interesting show. Uh, we will be covering the rift, the fallout between Tariq Nasheed and Professor James Small, and where that leaves FBA in the political spectrum. Move that. Um, Also, we will be talking about President Donald Trump going absolutely ham following the announcement of the death of Sarah Beckstrom, the 23-year-old National Guardswoman who was killed by an Afghani asylum seeker, Afghani asylum seeker. And if we keep the contributions looking good, you guys support me, I support you. That's how I like to do it. I give you more of what you want. We will talk about a man who attempted to delete his barber over pushing back his hairline, which is absolutely wild. But show love to the channel, support the stream, hit the like button as you come in. And I'm not going to lie, I really don't have much to do. So we could just keep covering topics for all I'm concerned. Just show love and I will reciprocate. You know what I'm saying? It's a love thing. We all kin folks in this space right now. Did you guys give me my ones so that I know that you can hear me okay? And so that I know that you could see me okay? I'm wearing my all money in Nipsey Hustle hat right now. They're having a Black Friday sale at the Marathon Clothing. I bought this months ago and only wore it for the first time yesterday. But if you want to get one of these hats or one of the Marathon Clothing shirts, now is the time. Because I'm not going to lie, that stuff is high. It's expensive. They're on Melrose. Their prices definitely reflect that. And so if you're a supporter of that, the whole Nipsey Hustle situation, go ahead and show some love to the Marathon Clothing store. Let me set my hey guys, let's set a goal. I think we can hit this goal too. Let's set a goal of 10 $5 super chats. We hit that goal. We keep going, man. We keep going. I'm at the point where I'm ready to take topics from the audience and I'll just cover them. Let's hit our goal, 10 $5 super chats and or cash apps, PayPals, whatever. And we'll cover these stories and we'll just keep on going. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, Tariq Aloysius Flex Nasheed is basically getting it from all angles and not in the way that he likes. We just covered the fact that he's beefing with Tazariak. I get my morons mixed up too many times. Tazariak bin Alaou Khalif, the Hebrew Israelite sycophant. And they fell out. I mean, they were on like a buddy friendship basis. They had each other's personal phone numbers. But when Tazariak found out that the queen, we was queens and shit, the queen of FBA is actually a transgender woman. That means he is a man named T.S. Giselle. I guess Tazariak had enough. His what is the thing they call that they wear around the edge of their shirt? His Power Ranger cufflinks were officially chafed. He had enough. And so he calls out, he tries to reach out to Tariq. Tariq calls him an agent, his usual shaming and discrediting tactics. And so he lost his fringes. His fringes were singed. He found out that the queen of FBA was a tranny, and my guy's fringes were singed, and he decided that he had enough. He decided he was finished. So they fell out. And now Tariq Nasheed has been blindsided by Professor James Smalls, a person who has been, I would say, complicit in the FBA xenophobic hate cult scheme. He is now calling out Tariq Nasheed. I guess now that the anti-African, anti-Pan-African rhetoric of FBA has begun to impact his dealings over in Africa. It's a crazy situation. I consider all these people to be grifters. James Smalls is just an educated grifter like Sandy Darity. Tariq is an uneducated high school dropout grifter. But in my opinion, they work in tandem, and their goal is to commit a little fraud, commit a little bit of they misinform the people. They prey on the natural hyper emotionalism of African Americans, and in my opinion, they sow division for their personal gain. That's what I think their goal is, right? So they're all kind of working together. But Tariq has been called out by Professor James Smalls, and it's funny because you can tell Tariq did not expect this to happen. He is working on his next mockumentary called Hidden Color 6. I mean, damn, Tariq, at this point, how long the color is going to be hidden? Hidden Color 6 it is quickly resembling the Fast and Furious franchise. I'm thinking Tariq, before he drops dead, he's going to produce about 27 versions of Hidden Colors. Hidden Colors 27. Tariq's Flex's Revenge. Hidden Colors 26. Peanut comes out. Hidden Colors episode number 25. Back to Haiti. This guy is making this into a mockery at this point. But I mean, the FBA clan, what else are they going to do? They've totally failed at acquiring reparations. So they need something to believe in. And when in doubt, as is the practice of Tariq Aloysius, aka Mr. Bojangles, when he doesn't know what to do, he falls back on his training. He releases another Hidden Colors. And it's crazy because they've funded it already, and they fund it, they produce it, and then they buy it. What producer do you know that pays for a movie ticket to a movie that they produced? FBA, that's the producers we know, who then turn around and pay for a symbolic movie ticket to watch a film that they've produced. So James Smalls is in Hidden Color 6. And Tariq is going as far as to say he's removing James Smalls from Professor James Smalls from Hidden Color 6. And so if you remove James Smalls, he no longer got Umar. He then fell out with Rizza Islam, I think. I just saw bro downtown Long Beach, as a matter of fact. Who is he going to have up there? Who is Tariq going to have up there? Bro, hey, Tariq about to have Ben X up there or something now, because he's quickly running out of scholars. He's quickly running out of credible liars, people who have credibility, who are willing to lie and misrepresent historical events and facts so that it will fall in line with the nonsense that Tariq is spewing. It's crazy. But O'Shea, Duke Jackson, we're still trying to figure out what dirt Tariq has on O'Shea to where O'Shea just like bootlicks Tariq at every turn. Like, O'Shea, if you need help, just wink 2 times. Give us that or something. Because there's something going on in that whole O'Shea, Duke Jackson, Tariq Nasheed dynamic that just does not sit right with me. Like, O'Shea, you're more successful on social media than Tariq. You probably have more money than Tariq because Tariq actually has like a home and all that he has to pay for and a family to support. What has he got on you, bro, that where you have to like glaze this man? And if it ain't that bad, just let us know and it'll just be family business. It's better to just get out in front. It's just better to get out in front of that instead of making like hit pieces on James Smalls and Professor James Smalls in defense of Tariq Nasheed. Let's play this.
If you're in the pro-Black community, you've heard of certain names: Dr. Claude Anderson, Dr. John Henry Clark, or Dr. Ben. All of these men represent a certain status of eldership in the pro-Black world. And another man holds this title also, Professor James Smalls. Now, Professor James Smalls is an African-American scholar, Pan-Africanist historian. He's been even a professor of Africana studies at the City University of New York. He's actually been teaching this stuff for years. He's a longtime expert on Black liberation in the Pan-African community. He's been active since the 60s. And he's also a person that is a consultant on films like Hidden Colors, and we'll get into that. And obviously, this is a person that even Tariq Nasheed really, really respected in the community. Again, he was in Hidden Colors 2, 3, 4, and also 5. So he's also there. Him and Tariq Nasheed had a certain relationship that spans at least a decade. However, within the last, 5 to 6 years, Tariq Nasheed has been very, very strong about the delineation. And this has caused Professor Smalls to have some level of criticism towards Tariq.
Now, I don't agree, and I'll call names. I don't agree with Tariq's rhetoric, okay? He's done some very good things, but words have meaning, and words have power. And you can use it once you've got a technology like we have today. One word can be so destructive you couldn't imagine it.
Yeah.
When you are constant in using the N-word, and you're constant in condemning an African simply because they're an immigrant, and you're constant, then there's something wrong with your knowledge base, not just your analysis. You have to have a decent knowledge foundation to even make an analysis. Tariq has pulled together a lot of fantastic scholars. Now, how much of that scholarship he has absorbed becomes another question. And he's my friend and my brother.
So that's Professor James Smalls.
Nah, O'Shea. You're not getting away with that. Professor James Smalls brings up an excellent point. Tariq can organize and assemble scholars like the Avengers, right? And he could give them a little $500 or $1,000 or whatever he pays them to get up and speak on certain historical events based on their extensive knowledge. But Tariq, what Professor James Smalls is calling out and calling into question is how much of this knowledge is Tariq actually absorbing? How much of this information does Tariq already know? And how much of this information is Tariq purposely omitting in the name of appeasing the FBA hordes of ignorance, right? Because to even consider yourself FBA, you have to be willing to buy in to a genetically false, factually, scientifically impossible narrative or idea. This idea that if you come from Africa, but you've been in America long enough, that somehow makes you indigenous to America, and you are no longer an African person. And scientifically speaking, genetically speaking, that is simply untrue, and it is impossible. And what's crazy is during his beef with Dane Calloway, when Tariq ran the risk of losing his horde to Dane Calloway, because what you have to understand about these people is they're just going to go for who is the most extremely ignorant, the person who throws out the most conspiracies, and the person who's just more willing to lie and fashion it into something that resembles something historical. That's who these crowds go with. They're in it for the hysteria. They're in it for the sensationalism. They're in it for the hyper emotionalism. They want to be offended. They want to clutch their pearls, and they're looking for leadership that gives them a reason to do so. So Tariq and Dane Calloway had a brief little beef, but Tariq realized that Dane Calloway had more power to pull Tariq's audience into his sphere of influence, because Dane Calloway not only was willing to entertain absolutely outlandish ideas concerning Black people's relationship with Native Americans, but he was also willing to just blatantly lie and produce falsified paperwork and quote unquote evidence that supported, his position. So Tariq quickly made peace with Dane Calloway, and he got out of Dodge. That was one of the many times that Tariq proved to me officially that he's just a straight grifter. Because if you're not a grifter, you're willing to go head on with people who are bringing misinformation, disinformation, and basically operating based on ahistorical rhetoric, right? It's not real history. Shit, Tariq didn't denounce or renounce Dane Calloway. He adopted Dane Calloway's strategy. He started with the nonsense, we're indigenous. He started with the nonsense of Black washing history. Everybody who was anybody was Black. Tariq basically became Dane Calloway's son. So why is O'Shea willing to become Tariq's son? Why is it like that? Why are these men who have such great influence, even Phil Scott, he's a little Tariq Nasheed butt boy. Phil Scott, you got 1 million+ subscribers, but you still carrying water and kissing the butt cheeks of Tariq Nasheed. I don't know what it is about these dudes. I don't know if it's like low-key homosexual in nature. I don't know if they just feel like Tariq is the father that they never had or what, but these guys are willing to bend the knee to Tariq when Tariq is less influential than they are. It's absolutely crazy to me. Don't know why it happens. Part of me doesn't even want to know. But what I'm pointing out here is James Small questions Tariq's actual knowledge base. He basically, in an educated way, called Tariq a dumbass. If to just lay it all out there.
Basically taking a dig at Tariq Nasheed's behavior, so to speak. Tariq Nasheed, when he does roast people sometimes in the African community, there are some, names being put out there. There's some thumbnails that he uses. And so Professor James Small has criticized Tariq Nasheed openly for this. But then after criticizing Tariq Nasheed, he said this.
Comrades and brother Tariq Nasheed, let me be very clear. Tariq is my brother. Tariq is my comrade. I'm proud of the work that he's done in Hidden Colors. I'm proud of the conferences he's done in trying to deal with reparations. I'm proud of the museum that he's put together. And if I want to criticize him about language and words he used, I've done it publicly and to him privately. That's what men do. Children, I don't want to call you the name you deserve, so I'll say children try to create conflict between brothers for the purpose of having conflict.
Yeah, James Small messes up when he does stuff like that, calling Tariq his brother and all this stuff. And he says, I'm going to call you children because I don't want to call you the name. He's talking about FBA here. He says, I'm going to call you children because I don't want to call you the name that you deserve to be called. But he says only children create conflict. Only children create conflict just for the sake of having conflict. But the reality is he doesn't really understand the nature of FBA, because FBA creates conflict for the purpose of entertainment. And that's it. They're not doing any of this because it benefits them in any way. They know they're not going to get any reparations. They know that that has been totally shut down and annihilated. So now they continue on the internet for the sole purpose of creating conflict for their entertainment. Hey guys, we got us one. And then they flood that person's comment section. They flood that person's videos, and they basically just start talking crazy on behalf of defending the personality that is Tariq Nasheed. He said that Tariq is his brother, and as his brother, he feels like he could go to him and call him out. Well, this is true. If someone can't criticize you, if your friend can't criticize you, then they're not really your friend. And the reality is that James Smalls knows this too. Tariq is not friends with anybody. Tariq is a cult leader. And what you'll notice about cults is you cannot criticize the leader of a cult. It doesn't matter what they do. They are infallible. They can do no wrong. And if you catch them openly doing wrong, they pivot the criteria for righteousness. They move it. They adjust the criteria for righteousness or sanctity to make it to where it's like their leader never did anything wrong, right? This is what we're dealing with. But James Smalls, he played a stupid game. He played a stupid game and he won a stupid prize. And now they're saying that this is having a financial or economic impact on him. Maybe Tariq is wanting his money back for the Hidden Colors bull crap. I would like to see the price tag, how much James Smalls charges Tariq to get on those mockumentaries and basically misrepresent historical fact.
That's an attack on the Black race and an attack on our effort to free ourselves. So children, back the hell up. Tariq and I are comrades, brothers, and friends. You ain't gonna mess with that. Leave it alone. Peace and blessings.
Now, in this clip, he's saying, listen, you guys are trying to cause division between me and Tariq.
Boy, you don't sit your stupid ass down. Who the you think you is?
Nothing is wrong with us. We are brothers in arms. This, that, and the third. And then again, Tariq Nasheed, having respect for Professor James Small, never took any shots at him. And then recently, there was this interview.
You've probably seen this petty beef, between Africans and African Americans.
But we don't know how much American State Department or Justice Department is involved in Foundation of Black America. Who's getting paid the money to say what they're saying? So what you're seeing ain't quite what you see, and there's only a piece of what you see.
So this last interview is what people are really up in arms about, because you see James Small talking about FBA, and he's insinuating that the person that has the most to gain from it, which is Tariq, is also an agent. Now, this is interesting because we've heard him just right here, insinuate that him and Tariq Nasheed are buddies. I mean, he's been in several Hidden Colors. I've already named at least 4 times he's been inside of.
Yeah, Tariq can be an agent. Tariq could be an agent of chaos. Just because Tariq is an agent doesn't mean he's working for some government force. I don't like what O'Shea is doing here. O'Shea says he's a doctor, but then O'Shea acts like he is a Pookie or Ray Ray living in the hood with his logic and his reasoning. He's saying, oh, well, James Small didn't have to come at Tariq like that. What are you talking about? With FBA, it's the law of tooth and nail. Didn't Tariq do that to secure the tribe? And O'Shea, if you ever watched this, I want to ask you a question. Where was your video when Tariq publicly doxed Secure the Tribe on Twitter? When he gave their addresses, their government names, their phone numbers, all these things. Where was your video when Tariq publicly doxed Secure the Tribe, not because they had done anything to Tariq, not because they had offended Tariq or insulted him. He did that because he felt, allegedly, he felt that the radical nature of Secure the Tribe, or the radicalized rhetoric of Secure the Tribe, hurt his ability and prevented him from achieving the job of one of the hosts on the Revolt Summit tour. That's why he did that. But we didn't get a video from O'Shea about that. This is the law of tooth and nail, you bastard. In FBA, you call out people, friends, foes, enemies, whatever, and you call them out publicly. And because James Smalls did what he did in line with the nature of FBA, the protocol, the precedent that has been set by FBA, all of a sudden, everybody, you should have went in private. Why does he have to do it in private when Tariq does it every day in public? If you have a problem with Africans, if you all about privacy, I'm gonna call you Chris Brown, privacy, right? If you all about privacy, why don't we have private sit downs with the African immigrants and talk to them about the things that we feel that they're doing that work in opposition or perpetuate our oppression? It's all about privacy when you're going after the master. They insulted you in public. These dudes are like fucking Smeagol or Igor on Frankenstein. It's typical. What the hell is that? Okay, anyway, I got an error message, guys. It's typical nonsense because it's rules for thee, but not for me. You have to operate by this set of rules. But Tariq, he gets to operate based on his own set of rules that are just for him. What grown person plays these type of stupid games? That's my question to y'all. What grown person participates in this type of blatant hypocrisy? I couldn't tell you. But what we know for a fact is FBA. That's why I lump them all in with the Democrats and everybody else. It's always rules for thee, but not for me. That is the way they do it. That is their modus operandi. Rules for thee, but not for me. And a whole nother set of rules for Tariq that's different from the rules for everybody else. Like, I'm not dealing with that. I'm not dealing with. You just said it, Ms. Berry. They're straight up D riders. That's it. You can sum it up as that.
Those things. Then he also said that for those people who were trying to cause division between him and Tariq, you're the problem. But now we're hearing Professor James Small himself call Tariq an agent. Now, this is interesting because Tariq Nasheed would respond to this.
But yeah, the thing with James Small, I know a lot of people are talking about that. James Small, Professor James Small. A lot of people have been on his bumper because he was very, very disrespectful to the lineage, very disrespectful to me. And yeah, he said some little disrespectful stuff before, and I kind of let it slide. I didn't, I'm like, okay. He was in the new movie that we're working on, Hidden Colors 6. And basically what it looks like, because James Small, he was one of the main people talking delineation language.
Tariq mentioned something that's important, delineation language. Now, I did not know this, but shout out to Brother George Macon over at Street Media TV. He also came from the Sonetter TV camp, and he actually had receipts of this delineation language from Professor James Small.
Allow people to have us deny our identity as African Americans, while other Africans come from other places and try to assume that identity for economic reasons and political reasons, and yet do not ally themselves with the African American. In most instances, that those immigrant African community tend to ally themselves with the European American, not understanding what the historical relationship between the African American and the European American is, or the war, the cultural war and the spiritual war and the economic war and the political war that still exists between those two communities. So when you're an African from another place, and you come and say, well, I can't get caught up in that.
Well, see, now this is the gripe I would have with Professor James Smalls. He talks about Africans coming to America and basically, quote unquote, siding with white folks, right? In opposition of Black Americans. I don't like that language because it's dishonest at its core, right? Africans didn't come to America and side with white folks. Africans came to America and wanted to get about the business of building themselves up so that they can build a future for their children, right? But you can't talk about Africans trying to go after certain opportunities because Black America was the vanguard of all revolutionary movements on the planet in the 1960s, 1970s, 1980s. We are the ones who told them, hey, the revolution is over. Now the new revolution, the new goal is to go try to get yourself a job inside of one of these white folks' Fortune 500 companies. The new goal was to go up into one of these universities and get your doctorate and get your MBA and get your law degree and all this mess and become an engineer or whatever. We literally changed the goal. We moved the goalpost, which is what we do so well. We told the Africans, we ain't out here fighting white supremacy no more. Now we are seeking, like Dinah says, we are now jockeying for space within white supremacy. Because the white institution, that's white supremacy, right? The Fortune 500 company run by a board of all white folks, that's white supremacy. We no longer were fighting white supremacy. We just wanted position within white supremacy over the other minority groups. So the one thing about Africans, they learn quick and they learn fast and they learn well. They understood the Black American is telling me we are no longer revolutionary. We are no longer soldiers in the Black Liberation Army. We are now seeking to be employees within the economic infrastructure of white supremacy. So now, retroactively, FBA is trying to change the rules of the game. They're trying to omit history, rewrite history, and make it seem like, well, Black people never stopped fighting and struggling against white supremacy. We was always here. Y'all came and y'all became the sellouts. Please, the first sellouts were Black Americans. The first, I'm not Black, I'm OJ. Who the hell is that? Did Black people universally or collectively disown OJ? No, they didn't. They worshiped the ground he walked on. Gave him a nickname, Juice. You want to be youth? They admired him and they loved him. They loved him. And he was someone who you could say was one of the first buck dancers or coons, just the way he would interact. And I'm not saying that. I'm saying you could say that. And the list goes on and on. Even to this day, dudes like Roland Martin, dudes like Don Lemon, dudes like, what's that boy's name? Mark Lamont Hill. These people are straight sellouts. There are straight bootlicking coons, and Black people don't disown them. Black people celebrate them. So why are you mad that an African comes and does exactly not only what you told him to do, but he's doing something that you're doing, and you're doing it at a higher rate than he is. Tariq, I didn't see an African do a grand opening of a Black History Museum and then have a bunch of white Jewish people sitting up in there at the tables. That was Tariq who did that. I didn't see a Black African say, I'm pro-Black, send me money, and then hire a white publicist. I saw FBA do that. But like I told you, this is nothing more than rules for thee, but not for me. Only in the mind of FBA, only FBA could buck dance and get a pass. Only FBA could operate like coons and get a pass. Anybody else, if you do it, oh, nah, you just sell it out. But if an FBA does it, it doesn't matter. Let it all hang out. I don't care. Right? So this whole idea is just rooted in bullcrap. And James Smalls, for too long, has been a part of spreading that bullcrap. He's been a part of spreading this xenophobic, anti-African, anti-Pan-African rhetoric. So if something bad does happen with his finances, I'm going to say he deserves it. You lay down with dogs, guess what? Guess what? My granny told me you're going to get up with fleas.
I'm here to make money. Then you ally yourself with someone I'm at war with and wonder why I treat you a certain way. So you need to understand what you have just done. Besides disrespecting me in my country, something I would never do to you in your country. I would not go to Senegal and choose the side of the French against you. I would not come to Jamaica and choose the side of the Brits against you. So why would you come to America and choose the side of the white American for whatever reason, economic, political, cultural, or whatever, against me and my interests, and then tell me I'm unwelcoming to you? I welcome my friends and my brothers and sisters. I do not welcome my enemies.
See, and this is still bullshit. If you want to be if you want to prosper, if you want to thrive, if you want your family to be safe and well taken care of, you're taking the side of the white man. See, James Smalls, what are you talking about, bro? Black people is out here listening to drill music, celebrating, slaughtering each other. I don't see no Nigerian gangs in Chicago running up, murdering black people and then making rap songs about it. See, when these guys say enemies and friends and all that stuff, that's BS. That's BS. The African didn't come over and undermine you. The African came over and did the things you used to do. The African came over and embodied the values that Black America was built on when we were at our strongest. But we don't see the importance. We don't see the value of those values anymore. So we get mad when other people come and adopt those values or embody those values, and you see them prosper, and you have long ago abandoned those values and you're not doing too well. That's all that is. That's all that is. That's like a kid. They leave their mama house because they say, I don't want to live in my mama house no more. My mama bossed me around. I can't stand this shit. But then they go back to mama house for Thanksgiving and they up in there trying to argue with everybody because they're realizing to themselves, damn, it was better here than it is wherever I'm at now. They can't admit it because their pride won't allow it. So what they do, they go up in the house on Thanksgiving, Christmas, holidays, and they in there arguing with family members from morning till night. It's resentment. Black America, too many of us, resent Africans because Africans are proof that a lot of the shit that we said was stopping us from getting to where we want to be in America is absolute BS. And instead of admitting that is BS, we prefer to make it out like everyone else is lying or everyone else hates us. Oh, nah, it only works for them because they're collaborating with the white man. No, bro. Africans come over here musty as hell with thick ass accents. They're moving up the ladder just fine. They're moving up the ladder while you're screaming about discrimination and racism. That's why they're going forward. They're doing what your ancestors did. Our ancestors didn't waste a damn second talking about racism or what a white person won't give them. They went out and they got it they got it out the mud. They did it themselves. We've lost sight of that. So now we got to play the blame game. I love you more. You know that we got to play the blame game, and it's really disgusting, and it's pathetic. And what James Small is doing is he's minimizing that aspect while at the same time trying to carry water for the ignorance of that perspective. It is stupid.
Did it look like me or not?
So there we have Professor James Small saying something very similar to what Tariq Nasheed is saying. Now, Tariq Nasheed, who typically would come after somebody with more vigor, but because of who Professor James Small is, he also reveals this.
But let me say this for the record. I'm not rocking with Professor Smalls anymore. The disrespect, because I've shown that man nothing but respect. Family that he has a hotel over there in Africa. When that shit was failing, I gave money to help him out with that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that type of the little disrespect, and he's been kind of doing that. He gets with these tethers and been taking shots at me, but then he just went real disrespectful to me, and there's a point of no return. You know, there's a point of no return with some of the stuff he was saying about me. That ain't so. For the record, I'm letting folks know. Yeah, all that respect the elders. I respect the elders if you are respectable. Because you start kind of lying and saying shit you know ain't true. I have no respect for you at this point. I've lost all respect for Professor Smalls. I don't rock with him. We're taking him out of the movie Hidden Color 6. He's not going to be in it. It's going to be a minute. We're re-editing that. We're taking him out.
Now, he is saying that...
Y'all, Hidden Colors 6 is it 6? Hidden Colors 6 about to be a damn mess. He's like, I've lost all respect for... James Small. Well, should we have lost our respect for Tariq when he was calling Jared Taylor a white supremacist, his brother? Brother this, brother that. Come on, Tariq. You never engage with people with self-respect. Every argument or conversation you have is in bad faith. You out here looking like Gumby with that damn flat top with that ugly ass tan suit, looking like some rawhide, one of them things the dogs chew on. But you're just a liar, Tariq. And you're mad because Professor James Smalls, I guess he's found a conscience and he's no longer willing to lie for you. He's no longer willing to validate your lies. He's no longer willing to run, like to spin your false narratives to make it somewhat similar to the truth. And I mean, I respect James Smalls for that. Bro probably just saw like the impact that what Tariq says on the people he loves who may live on the continent or who may live just in America. It's wrong to do. Even with the whole tether, all the tethers and all that, Tariq is acting like a damn black plantation owner. He's sitting up, he's literally trying to make African immigrants like second or third or fourth class citizens in America. Why the white folks, the blue-haired liberal freaks and the Jews is kicking us in the ass every day. You don't even hear Tariq say anything about the ADL or anything like that. He found a group that no one's going to call him out for hating on, and he started hating on it. And he was able to build a cult following called FBA that just mindlessly runs out onto the internet in defense of Tariq without knowing all the info, without even seeking new information, without vetting, without just making sure that the facts are accurate. They just, whatever you're doing, it doesn't matter what Tariq does. No matter what he does, you're always wrong. Flex is always right, and you should show some more respect. So Tariq, shut the hell up.
You know, I've helped him out in the past, but the disrespect has gone too far. He was going to put him in Hidden Color 6, and now he's taking him out. Okay? Now, I've listened to both sides of the argument. This is actually what I believe. Number one, Professor James Small is dealing with Tariq Nasheed's language. All right? And if you're a person that's built your identity as a hardcore Pan-Africanist like Professor James Small, and I'm not talking about somebody like me who is kind of moderate or kind of in the middle or have experienced things that make me see the world one way or the other. If you're Professor James Small, if you're a real hard body Pan-Africanist old school, he has to say something like this. The reason is because it's the wording that he's dealing with. All right. And I'm trying to see it from his angle. Professor James Small, since the 60s and 70s, has been doing this and living this lifestyle. And he expresses the same thing that Tariq Nasheed does. And in that the message that James Small uses is the same, but the wording is different. Tariq Nasheed will roast Africans. He will make fun of certain things.
Was he roasting Secure the Tribe when he doxed him? And see, this is the issue I have with O'Shea. O'Shea, you're supposed to have a doctorate. You are like basically supposedly a peer of Professor James Smalls. The problem was that James Smalls tried to shoot Tariq Bell on the xenophobic rhetoric that he was spewing, right? So James Small tried to like spin it. He tried to spin it to make it a little bit less offensive and a little bit more just like, hey, it's not like hateful. It's just us like telling you a problem we have with you. Okay, we got that. But James Small is being held accountable by his peers. As a professor, as an instructor, as a person working at colleges and universities, he is going to be held accountable for everything he says and the validity, truth, and accuracy of what he says. Tariq doesn't have to worry about that. So now what I'm thinking is the academic community has now learned of what James Smalls is doing, and they're coming for him. And also maybe the African community where James Smalls does his business and stuff is finding out about Tariq and James Smalls like little relationship. So now maybe they're saying something about it. That's why he came quick with the denouncement and talking about the rhetoric. It's like, it's not what you say all the time. A lot of times it's just how you say it. And Tariq gets real disrespectful. When he starts feeling pumped up and a lot of people are watching him, he gets real disrespectful.
He doesn't hate Africans, obviously, and his real roasts are against those people who disrespect Black Americans. But if you're really key into his lives or into his Twitter spaces, he's always respectful to people that are respectful to him. Now, Tariq Nasheed does have an entertainment aspect of his commentary.
Right. See, but this is what all goofy dudes do. They try to hide disrespect behind joking. Oh, I'm just joking, bro. I'm just roasting you. Oh, I'm just trolling. And I've addressed this many times. No, bro, you're lying. You're trying to hurt me. And when you realize that your attempt to hurt me didn't work, now you try to walk it back saying you was just joking or you was just trolling. No one's falling for that shit in 2026, O'Shea. Oh, Tariq does roast Tariq does roast, please. He's doing more than just roasting them. Yeah, O'Shea's full of crap. Hey, I see the super chats, guys. If you're gonna leave a super chat, get it in the comments because I'm gonna read them in a second. Remember, we're trying to hit our goal. We're 3 in. We got 3. We trying to hit 10 so we could just keep the party going. And I just hit more topics. I don't got a problem with it, but we got to make it, we got to reciprocate. We got to reciprocate the love, amongst ourselves on this stream. But I'm here. I'm cool. Ain't nothing wrong with me. I'm feeling good. So if you want to keep going, drop super chat, let me know. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so let's keep playing this.
Which Professor James Small is more academic. So what James Small is dealing with is some nuances and how he's approaching the situation. But clearly to me, he's not listening to all what Tariq is saying in some of these streams or some of these videos, right? But I get it. He has to be against what Tariq Nasheed is doing because he's a Pan-Africanist and a hardcore Pan-Africanist such as him, like hard body. There's no way he can fundamentally agree with delineation. That would not be true. Okay, here's the big issue. Tariq Nasheed has not changed his position in about the last 7 or 8 years. This has been very consistent. So on one end, you don't like how he's saying it, but every opportunity that comes up for Hidden Colors, you're willing to go there and get paid. You don't mind using Tariq Nasheed's platform to elevate yourself. And Tariq Nasheed even said that you have admitted that you have benefited from working with Tariq Nasheed.
Man, listen, O'Shea, O'Shea is not this dumb. He's playing coy. He's being willfully obtuse. People like Professor James Smalls validate shit like Hidden Colors. People like Riza Islam, people like Dr. Umar, they validate garbage like Hidden Colors, because if Tariq were narrating Hidden Colors and sitting there in front of a camera speaking, nobody would take any of it serious. So he needs the scholars on there. He needs the real accomplished, educated professors on there, because those are the ones who give validity to what he's doing. Look, he said he's not going to have James Smalls on there, right? No more, right? Now he has to find another scholar who's willing to speak in a purposely deceptive way to make it look like there's some validity to the outlandish claims that Tariq Nasheed makes on Hidden Colors. That's what this is about. And O'Shea knows that. O'Shea knows that. He's just probably gaslighting us, but he knows that. But he's going to play dumb because for some reason, he's going to take the side of Tariq come hell or high water. I don't know what it is, but I hope my brother gets his head about the blender with that crap.
Now, you have also said publicly that Tariq Nasheed is your brother and that people should not be trying to drive division in between the two of you, because while you disagree with him, you appreciate the good that he has done. But as an elder, what you do is you go back on your word on to somebody else's show, and then you then call this man the FBI or the CIA, and they're paying him, but you are going to be in Hidden Colors. And this is why people are looking at Professor James Small with the side eye, because on one end, you know, he's a CIA agent and all of this, but you sure don't mind getting no money from him. And when you needed help with your hotel that was failing in Ghana, you was able to take the money from him then. So what is it? Is it that if you're not going to deal with him, then why are you telling us that y'all ain't got no issues? But then come out there and then turn on the guy when you going every time you got a Hidden Colors, you're there collecting a check. And for me, that is fake. That is phony. All right. If you don't like what he does, simply don't deal with him. The fact is, what he's complaining about, you have been complaining about for years. In fact, you were one of the first.
Nah, Professor James Small may have spoke out on like different things he didn't like about the way Africans interact with Black Americans when they come over here, but he was not launching a xenophobic hate cult when it comes to Africans. James Small never did that. So Tariq Nasheed and James Small might agree on something, but it's the way you execute, the way you act based on that. And Tariq is like, he comes off like he hates Africans. And like, he's like, Tariq remind me of the Grand Dragon of the KKK. He's not going to call you a nigger. He's not going to do that. But you're going to know that he don't F with you like that. He's going to keep it cool. He's going to keep it professional. But you're going to know in no uncertain terms, you're going to know very clearly they will send a message to you that I am white, you are Black, I don't like you, and I really don't want to deal with you. Now, does that mean he's going to spit in your face and kick you in your ass? Probably way back in the day, but not anymore. Not with little litigation and stuff like that. So they will give you like a certain, like, that's what Tariq's doing. He's giving a certain level of respect, but it's like on the other side of that, it's like pure xenophobic hatred for Africans. And that's the problem with James Smalls. James Small was just focusing on one aspect of FBA, one particular message that Tariq was spreading to FBA. But when you got out into the broader like ocean of FBA ideology, FBA thought, FBA behavior, you realize quick, can't nobody with a stable mind support this shit. Like, can't nobody with a stable mind support this. And that's what O'Shea is attempting to do. O'Shea is attempting to make sense of something that is totally ignorant and unexplainable. It's all it's going to do is just collapse in on itself. So, you know, you decide, you let me know what you think in the comments and we will, you know, go from there. But yeah, Tariq, horrible dude. I'm going to give the first round to Professor James Smalls. He seems like he's just trying to deal in with the facts of the situation. He's not trying to play the popularity contest, none of that stuff. He's just saying how he feels. And I agree with James Small. I disagree with how he was a collaborator with FBA, but I agree with him now. And I'm really glad that bro woke up and smelled the coffee and decided to, like, because James Smalls is old, bro, could drop dead any moment. Don't leave this world, with that type of nonsense attached to your name. Tariq is going to die with this stuff attached to his name, and I promise you, FBA will forget about him in a week. They probably didn't already forgot about him. He's a blip on their radar. If that whole situation lands, he's a blip on their radar. He doesn't care. He doesn't give a damn. All these people are just self-centered. They're only together because they think that they're going to gain something individually, and that's in the form of reparations. So it's not really a union. It's just a bunch of people who are united in their hatred for something and for their desire for personal gain. Dana with the data has turned on who? Y'all, let's get these super chats up. Let's go. Let's get it to our goal, man, so we can keep going, because we're going to Trump next. And then I want to go into the guy with the haircut, try to kill the other dude, and then we're going to go into some other stuff. But let's keep the contributions going. I need the love, dude. I'm broke. I'm broke after Thanksgiving, y'all. They done bled my pockets. Anyway, yeah. So it's really dumb. This is gonna die down, and FBA next week have somebody else they hate on. Professor James Small. He dodged a bullet. He got hit by it, but he did the Neo Matrix on the next 5. I'm telling y'all, do not get involved with this FBA shit. These people are so radicalized, they're going to do something that's going to get them put on a list, right? I think there used to be this thing in New York called the Slave Theater. Have you guys ever heard of that? It was a thing in New York called the Slave Theater. Y'all would know more about this than me if you from New York. I think it was called the Slave Theater. But dudes used to go there for whatever reason to watch shows or whatever. They used to be talking some like Black Power stuff, some pro-Black this and that. And I heard like a bunch of dudes who used to go there got put on like no-fly list, FBI list and all that. And it hurts them to this day. Because a bunch of the old dudes who used to go there wanted to go to Africa. And they couldn't even go because their names were on like no-fly lists. I'm just keeping it a buck with you. But we are gonna pivot, guys. We're gonna pivot. I know y'all I gave y'all a whole hour of Tariq. I gave y'all a whole hour. I hope that y'all stay with us, because we're just gonna cover like some topics, some major topics in the headlines today. I want you to feel like you could count on this as your primary news source. I'm gonna be more consistent, and I want you to be able to come here and say, hey, look, if I need to know what's going on with something, I could go to Brandon. I ain't got to worry about somebody lying to me, trying to spin some shit to purposely deceive me for their own personal gain. You can just come, sit back, relax, put the headphones on, turn the volume up or turn it down because I talk loud, and get your daily dose of news. Your daily dose of news, okay? That's what you could do. I don't know where the hell I'm looking for this. Let me see. I might be messing this up. Okay. Okay. I don't know what I just did. Damn, there's a lot of people going live right now. Shoot. Okay. I'm just trying to. Okay, here we go. Got him. Okay, so we have to kind of pivot a little bit and get into like a more serious topic. The National Guardswoman, Sarah Beckham, a 20-year-old woman from West Virginia who volunteered to go to DC and work on Christmas, patrolling the DC area, has, dang, I'm starting this over for the clips. Okay, so we have to talk about a more serious situation. We have to talk about Sarah Beckham, a 20-year-old West Virginia National Guards woman who volunteered to go down to Washington, D.C. on Thanksgiving as a newly sworn in member of the National Guard and patrol the downtown DC area, giving up her opportunity to spend Thanksgiving with her family. Her and Andrew Wolf, a 24-year-old service member, were brutally ambushed by some Afghan criminal terrorist named Lakawani. I forgot his full name, but I know his last name was Lakawani. What's his name? Wakanal. Let me get it. I don't want to. Let me get his name. His name is Ramanullah Lakanwal. Ramanullah Lakanwal. He's a 29-year-old Afghan citizen. He's 29. Andrew Wolf is 24. And Sarah Beckstrom was 20 years old. So everybody in this incident involved, other than the guy who killed Lockenwall, is under 30 years old. And that alone kind of gives me reason for pause and a little bit of worry. The age range is it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. But so Sarah Beckstrom, she has officially died. She has officially died. And it's a sad thing to hear about. I was hoping that her and Andrew would pull through, but they did not. Andrew is still fighting for his life. He is still in critical condition, right? But Sarah Beckstrom, she is dead, unfortunately. And what I keep bringing up to people, because I know what we do is if we don't like somebody, like we don't like Trump, if there's something that they're concerned about, we try to minimize it, right? But I want you to remember one thing. If you take away nothing else from this video, I want you to remember one thing. When this man, Ramullah Lockenwall, when he shot Sarah Beckstrom in her head, did he ask her what political party she was affiliated with? When Lockenwall shot Andrew Wolf in his neck, did he ask him what was his sexual preference or what were his gender pronouns? Of course he didn't. So I say that to say this: we have this us versus them mindset against each other, whether you're like a Republican, Democrat, or liberal, right? But when the terrorists start terrorizing, when the killers start killing, they're not going to care about any of those things, because they're going to say, you are an enemy of Islam. You are an enemy of Allah. And we have been given a divine commission to exterminate you guys. They don't care. So my question is this: why continue fracturing and dividing based on a bunch of stuff that the people who you're fighting against don't care about? That's the part I don't understand. They don't even care about none of this stuff. They could care less about you or America or whatever. They're here to create terror. They're here to make it like people are too afraid to vote for the Republican Party because they're afraid of what might happen if the Democrats take power, or if they're afraid of what someone might personally do to them if they don't agree on like who they should vote for, who they they should support. And that's the problem I have with it. This woman lost her life, and you already see people trying to do spin jobs on the situation. And I just asked one question: what do you gain from protecting terrorists? What do you gain from bashing the president? You don't gain anything. You don't gain anything. You just look like someone who is a DEI affirmative action hire who basically like or like a DEI like affirmative action supporting person who's not really trying to operate based on merit or personal gain or added value. They're just operating totally on feelings. That is it. And I actually dealt with a little bit of this last night, but I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to talk about it here. Maybe I'll do it in the Patreon. I mean, maybe I'll do it in the members only. Let's tap into this real quick, y'all.
We must now re-examine every single alien who has entered our country from Afghanistan under Biden, and we must take all necessary measures to ensure the removal of any alien from any country who does not belong here or add benefit to our country. If they can't love our country, we don't want them. America will never bend and never yield in the face of terror. And at the same time, we will not be deterred from the mission these service members were so nobly fulfilling.
The president is doubling down, saying, I will permanently pause migration from all third world countries to allow the U.S. system to fully recover, terminate all of the millions of Biden illegal admissions, including those signed by Sleepy Joe Biden's auto pen, and remove anyone who is not a net asset to the United States. The president says he will be ending federal benefits for non-citizens, denaturalizing migrants who he says undermine domestic tranquility, and deport any foreign national who poses a security risk.
All right, guys. So unfortunately, we have to talk about the passing of Miss Sarah Beckstrom, the
I'm gonna read this post on Truth Social that Trump wrote. And let me just tell you, this guy, he is pissed off about this situation. You could just hear it in his voice. You could just hear it in like the thing. You can see it in the action he's taking. Trump is damn near ready to drop a bomb over this situation because, like, how dare you come over here to seek asylum and then ambush our men and women, our military men and women, our soldiers? That's just the ultimate disrespect. Let me read this. Donald Trump, Truth Social. A very happy Thanksgiving. Salutations to all of our great American citizens and patriots who have been so nice in allowing our country to be divided, disrupted, carved up, murdered, beaten, mugged, and laughed at, along with certain other foolish countries throughout the world for being politically correct and just plain stupid when it comes to immigration. The official United States foreign population stands at 53 million people, most of which are on welfare from failed nations or prisons, mental institutions, gangs, or drug cartels. They and their children are supported through massive payments from patriotic American citizens who, because of their beautiful hearts, do not want to openly complain or cause any trouble.
20-year-old National Guardswoman that was
our hearts.
So
the Biden administration.
So, you know, Trump understands what's going on. He understands how Americans, law-abiding citizens, are being taken advantage of. My question is, if we're all American citizens, what do these media outlets and these spin doctors gain from calling us crazy when everything we said would happen from way back, we were saying in 2020, everything we were saying would happen is actually coming true in real time. And it's not benefiting any American. So why are there Americans who are dumb enough to sit up and try to defend that? It's ignorant if you ask me. But hey, to each his own.
About, are we going to see an escalation in charges?
Oh, there's no question. First of all, our hearts go out and our thoughts and prayers go out to the family of a beautiful 20-year-old Sarah Beckstrom, who answered the call to serve her nation. And she volunteered, and she ended up being shot ambush style on the cold streets of Washington, D.C. By an individual who will now be charged with murder in the first degree. There are certainly many more charges to come, but we are upgrading the initial charges of assault to murder in the first degree. And we are hoping that the more information we can get and the more investigation that is going on 24/7 now, around the clock in Washington, the more we will find out about what actually happened in terms of this individual even being in this country and being in a position to ambush and shoot down an innocent young woman who was doing her duty to the people of this country.
And that is really, really, really pissed off the president. Okay. And because of that, President Trump is announcing a new crackdown on migrants from third world countries, which means that, hey, we're not only going to be cracking down on them entering the United States of America, but we're going to be cracking down on third world migrants who are already.
Because they let them in. Are you stupid? Are you a stupid person? Because they came into.
Hey, my boy Trump. Hey, this situation got Trump pissed off. He's tired of this shit. He's tired of the media. He's tired of like these people. They have nothing but bad faith arguments. Their questions are asked in bad faith. They don't care. How I feel is like they don't care about America. It's all they care about is trying to appease a certain audience that wants them to ask stupid questions of the president that ultimately just waste time. I mean, if you look at the liberals right now, bro, you got Democrat voters over here trying to argue on behalf of Venezuelan drug dealers. You have American citizens who's sitting up trying to argue on behalf of Venezuelan drug dealers, talking about how you know it's drugs on the boat. Well, if it ain't drugs on the boat, why is he trying to get over to the United States in a speedboat illegally? We know it's drugs on the boat. It's been drugs on the boat for the better part of 50, 60 years. The same drugs, same damn boats, same people, same cartels. But now we got to play the stupid pin the tail on the donkey game, wasting time, wasting American resources, so that they could then say, oh, so you can prove something to them that they already know, but then will pretend not to accept, right? We just watched this with the Epstein files. We wasted weeks on that shit. And the whole time, we knew that the Democrats were the ones in the Epstein files. Now, guess what? Hold on. Now, guess what? Now they're acting like, cut that happen. Now they're acting like it doesn't even matter. We've proved that they were the ones in bed with the pedophile. We've proved that they were the ones asking Jeffrey Epstein for money years after he got convicted. It doesn't matter anymore. We just did that as a distraction. That's why Trump was like, man, I don't even care about it. It's just a hoax. Nah, but we had to act up and we got to see it and all this stuff. And then when we saw it, what? I ain't seen not a one person call for the resignation of Hakeem Jeffries. I haven't seen one person call for the resignation of Jasmine Crockett or for the imprisonment and trial of Bill Clinton. Because they didn't care about it. It was only good. It was only worth something or a value to them if it would have incriminated Trump. That is it. And that's what it means when they say play stupid games, win stupid prizes. This is a country that needs to be running and managed properly. Don't nobody got time to play games like a little kid. Let's listen to, and that's what Trump is saying. That's why he got so pissed off right here. Don't nobody want to sit up and play games with you. People are dying.
A lot of these people are not assimilated, and therefore they got to go back.
Why do you blame the Biden administration?
Because they let them in. Are you stupid? Are you a stupid person? Because they came on a plane along with thousands of other people that shouldn't be here, and you're just asking questions because you're a stupid person. And there's a law passed that it's almost impossible not to get them out. You can't get them out once they come in. And they came in, and they were unvetted, they were unchecked. There were many of them, and they came in on big planes, and it was disgraceful. And if you look, you'll see there was a law passed. It makes it almost impossible not to let them in, not to certify them, so to speak, once they come in. And they came in, and they shouldn't have come in. And frankly, the whole thing was a mess. The whole Afghanistan situation was a mess. It should have never taken place. If we're going to go out, and we would have gone out because I had everybody ready to go. We were going to go out with strength and dignity and precision. And we would have left from Bagram, and we would have kept Bagram, by the way, because of its very close relationship to China and where they make their missiles. But when you let the people come in by the thousands and thousands and thousands, they made a terrible mistake. But they weren't. Many of these people are criminals. Many of these people are people that shouldn't be here. And many of them.
And let me tell you something. They knew what they were doing, guys. They knew what they were doing. But they did it because this is the way the Democrats operate. Hey, if we let a bunch of them in, they'll vote for us. And that's why they're trying to fight to keep them here. That is why they're trying to fight to keep them here. The only thing the Democrats think about is, can we turn these people into generational Democrat voters? We don't care if 1,000 service members have to die. We don't care if a million kids get trafficked. As a matter of fact, we're going to let them traffic the kids and the drugs as long as they donate to our political campaigns. They don't care. But the funny thing about it is they also are not going to be affected because they have security details. But just like that dude could roll up with a .357 Magnum and shoot both of those National Guards members in a crime-ridden city like Washington, D.C., where they don't enforce the law, same way he could walk up and shoot you, regular old Johnny do-gooder Democrat, walk into the store. He can jump out on you and hit you with a couple hot ones. You do not vote to restrict or to castrate law and order, police departments, and law enforcement agencies in your city, country, or state. You just don't do that. When you start doing that, that is the beginning of the end. You have little white girls with blonde hair sitting up arguing in defense of drug traffickers and sex traffickers. You know that these people aren't thinking. They're damn sure not working with a full deck. They're coming from one place, hyper emotionalism rooted in liberalism. That's it.
There weren't. Many of these people are criminals. Many of these people are people that shouldn't be here. And many of them have been gotten out. I mean, we've gotten out a lot of the people that, we've taken a lot of them out of here. But they came in, legally, right? Yeah, I know this deal. Sorry, many are wonderful. Yeah, I'm sure.
I said many are here legally, though. What should they think in terms of their prospects?
Well, they can't be happy. Okay, they can't be happy because what's taking place between that. If you look at Somalia, they're taking over Minnesota, and we got a lot of problems with the gangs, with all of the things taking place in Minnesota. We have an incompetent governor, We have a dope governor. They can't be happy about what's going on. And if you talk about the Afghans, there's a problem because so many bad ones came in on the planes. They just walked in. Whoever the strongest people were physically in a way, but whoever the strongest, they got on the planes. There was no checking. They just swamped the planes. They took off. We had no idea who they were. Yeah, do you want to ask a question behind?
Me? Hi, sir. Happy
Sure.
Thanksgiving.
Hi.
What do the Somalians have?
And they ask this question. Oh, what about those who are here legally? What about the ones here legally? Listen, man, if they were allowed in, technically they're all legally here. but a lot of them were on probationary periods. Just because we'll let you come while there's regime change in your country does not mean you're just a permanent member in the United States. And now what we're learning is that they're having some type of PTSD where they fear deportation, and they're saying that this might have been one of the things that led to this guy going after those service members, which I don't really buy that. Why would you drive all the way from Washington State over 3,000 miles to Washington, D.C. to shoot 2 service members? I believe this was a terrorist attack. I know it was. But my bigger question is, you are an American. If you let terrorists into your country, it makes you less safe. It makes your kids less safe, right? I had a family member last night telling me, oh, well, you don't care about the little kids up in Gaza. Well, you don't care about your damn little family member who they want to put in a bathroom with a grown-ass man with a penis because he says he's transgender. This is like, bro, I can't protect the kids in Gaza. I can protect the kids in America, though. And he said, oh, well, you don't care about the kids in Gaza. I said, well, yeah, I do. That's why I voted for Donald Trump, and he stopped the kids from dying in Gaza, right? Oh, no, it don't matter because Gaza was already destroyed. But did he stop the kids from being pulled from rubble dead in Gaza with the ceasefire stuff? Yeah, but it don't matter. That's when you know that these people, they don't care about this stuff. If that was truly what they cared about, it wouldn't matter who stopped it or when it stopped. It would just matter that it's been stopped. They use that. They weaponize virtue. Oh, so if you don't care about Gaza Strip, you don't care about the kids getting pulled from the rubble. Well, the guy I voted for stopped the kids from dying, while the guy you voted for sat there and didn't even know where he was while he licked on the ice cream cone. So you're telling me that we should, and then you voted for him again, or his counterpart again. So you voted to keep Gaza cracking. You voted to keep bombs dropping on Gaza because Kamala Harris wasn't going to change nothing that Joe Biden was doing. She admitted it. I voted for there to be peace and for people, for the wars to stop. You're saying you want the wars to stop. You're virtue signaling saying you want the wars to stop and you want the kids to stop dying. But your voting practices don't reflect that. Me, I'm saying I really don't give a damn. I don't want our money going over to Israel for the sake of bombing Gaza, right? So the guy I voted for, he stopped the money from going, well, he's stopping the money from, well, he's stopping the bombing. He stopped the bombing, right? He stopped the kids and women and children from getting killed, right? That's way better than the guy you voted for did. That's way more than the guy you voted for did. But somehow you keep telling yourself that you made the right choice and I made the wrong choice. This is the angle. This is the angle from which liberals operate. This is the angle from which liberals operate. They do not connect. In their mind, there's a disconnect between what they say they want and who they vote for leadership. There's a disconnect. These chicks will say, we want women's rights, and then go vote for a candidate who's allowing transgenders to go in women's restrooms. And when they go to him and cry and complain, he says, well, trans women are women. That's how, this is pure emotion. Who these people vote for does not reflect what they claim they want. Let me play this some more.
To do with this Afghan guy who shot the national.
Nothing but Somalians have caused a lot of trouble. They're ripping us off for a lot of money. There's a tremendous amount of money going back to Somalia. What the hell are we paying money to Somalia for? But they're ripping off our country at a level that few people have been able to see before. That's about the only thing. You talk about competence. We have Ilhan Omar, who does nothing but complain about our country and our Constitution. And she comes from a country with practically no country. It's devastated. It's crime-ridden. It's a mess. It's a disgrace. And we took their people at a tremendous. We're not taking their people anymore. We're not taking their people, and we're getting a lot of their people out because they're nothing but trouble. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Go ahead.
Yeah, he says we're getting a lot of them out, right? And that's what I love to hear, right? Inject that into my vein.
So in one foul swoop, Donald Trump is dropping the hammer not only on the Afghan asylum seekers, he is also dropping the hammer on the Somalian asylum seekers who are here on a on the TPC or something, to protective order status, TPS. PTS or something, but they're here under a protective order because they're saying it is so unsafe in their country that they need to come to our country so that they won't, die basically. But when they get to our country, they operate in what I would call an adversarial capacity against the United States. On one hand, they're frauding the United States government out of multiple hundreds of millions of dollars. And then on the other hand, their political rhetoric seems to promote their country of origin and a placing of a higher value on their country of origin than on the value than on the United States, the country that they fled their country to come to. And that has given them more opportunity than they could have ever dreamed of having in their own country.
Right? A lot of them are going home. You gotta go home. It's too many of them here. That's just the reality of the situation. Okay. And I'm telling you guys,
aid and abate terrorism. That language is dangerous. That language puts the lives of Somalis not only in Minnesota,
that community,
gone to aid and abate terrorism. That language is dangerous. That language puts the lives of Somalis not only in Minnesota, but across the country in danger. And if the president believed that, and he had evidence, he would take people to court. So we are sick and tired of the president waking up one day and deciding to put forth falsehoods and demonize whole communities, while the ignorant people that support him then take the lies that he's spreading and use it as a fact. We've seen it during the campaign where he said Asians were eating cats and dogs. We've seen his.
So we as Americans, we're ignorant because yo Somali people then stole 400, y'all didn't scam $400 million from the government. And we're pretty sure y'all sending it back to Somalia to fund terrorism. Maybe not intentionally, but y'all send it to y'all cousin Habibi over there, and bro over here making it seem like he just so loving and caring. But the whole time he's the captain now. He's a member of a Somali pirate crew or a damn terrorist or an insurgent. But you want us to just accept that we're stupid. We're the ignorant ones. No, we were stupid and ignorant for ever letting you into this country. That's the problem. We were stupid and ignorant for not deporting you soon as you got on stage and started spewing anti-American, pro-Somalian, hateful rhetoric. We were stupid the minute you married that white guy, and people kept believing that you actually cared about Somalia or America. Ilhan Omar is nothing but a political terrorist. She is literally someone who agitates purposely for personal gain and for the ability to move up the political ladder in America. She votes 99.9% with every single thing Democrats do, whether it's good for her, good for Somalia, bad for America, or what. She is a Democrat shill politician. That is it. She's party over people 1,000%. When they found all the fraud and corruption, why didn't Ilhan Omar oversee that? To make sure that Why didn't Ilhan Omar oversee that to make sure that the people who were stealing weren't going to cost the people who are honest to lose the opportunities and resources they had? Because she's a part of it. She's a part of it.
Vice President, repeat those lies. We've seen the media run it as a headline as if it was a fact. That is shameful. That is shameful. That is ignorant. It makes us look like a stupid nation that does not believe in truth, but traffics in lies. It makes the world mock us, and we are better than that. We are better than that as Americans.
Yeah, so you
this lady is, man, listen. This lady is so full of shit, it's coming out of her ears. You're talking about how the United States looks when we want to make sure that we're not letting criminals and thugs and degenerates into our country, and talks about how it's shameful and it makes us look bad to other countries in the world, while at the same time, while simultaneously cheering and championing and waving flags of a country like Somalia that is an absolute shithole. So you're worried about how America looks to the international community and say you're embarrassed of what America, the greatest country in the history of the planet, is doing. You're embarrassed of that, but you're proud to be a Somalian. You're proud to be from a third world cesspool. Come on, bro. This lady, man, listen, if you love America, this lady will piss you off. That's like a Mexican waving a Mexican flag like, yeah, Viva la Mexico, but he wouldn't go back over there. And that's how you know that these people are not trying to assimilate into anything that we have going as Americans. They don't give a damn about America. They're just here. This is like an ATM for them. We're just here to get the money out. Everything else, y'all on your own. We are just here to get the money. And that's okay. But what you're not going to do is come over here with an anti-American attitude and think that you're going to participate and be allowed to take advantage of our resources. These are Americans only pies. You don't get no pie unless you make your own in your own country.
Crackdown is coming. And yeah, the mainstream liberal media, they're panicking about this and what this could actually mean.
In terms of where things stand this morning, there are some questions about specifically all these countries, right, that the president has referred to, which he calls, quote, third world countries. When we look at the reexamination process, there is also, Eugene, there is a concern about focusing too much on the country and what the ripple effect could be for those who are here in the country who are not a threat. How do you see this playing out?
Well, that will be a real issue that we've already seen risen by Afghan communities and the associations that welcome and help resettle refugees. There's a real concern about keeping Americans and immigrants safe, how the Trump administration goes about doing that without harming and discriminating against those who have come here to actually be, as he would label it, an asset to the U.S.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about harming them. Send them back to where they came from. You're not harming them. Send them back first class. And when they complain about what's going on over there, tell them to call Ilhan Omar, because she's been agitating this situation for years. Oh, the law-abiding, the safe ones. How do we know who's innocent and who's not innocent? This guy was innocent until he went to D.C. and shot 2 National Guardsmen and killed one. You don't know because the people weren't properly vetted. If he had a psychological issue, he should have never been allowed to come over here from Afghanistan. That's the point. And if the police don't want to cooperate with Trump and allow the ICE to come in and get these people out, guess what? He's just going to have to do a mass deportation. And I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. Because you might not want to believe me, but the terrorist cells are here already. That's how this guy behaved. This guy behaved like an activated terrorist cell. Guys, this man drove in a car from Washington State. He drove in a car from Washington State all the way to Washington, D.C. with a gun with just a few bullets in it to go and attempt to murder, ambush, and attempt to murder two National Guardsmen, two National Guard members, and he succeeded in murdering one of them. If that don't sound like an activated terrorist cell to you, I don't know what does. Because if he just wanted to go out and catch a body, he could have walked outside in Washington and gunned down 10 people. This guy, this is coming off like some type of act of terrorism.
Yet clear. There's some concern that he may not be able to do that in a way that is fair, but he hasn't detailed his immigration plan yet in terms of how he's going to keep Americans safe. And I assume that there will be pressure on him to clarify that.
Yeah, so we're going to see. But as of right now,
all I'm going to say is this. If you would have elected Kamala Harris, just imagine the stuff that would have been going on. Y'all don't really understand that this dude Trump dodged you dodged a bullet with Trump. You dodged a bullet with Trump. Just understand that. You dodged a bullet because you was going to have Kamala and she was going to let 50 million illegal immigrants up in this joint. That's what she was going to do. She was going to let 50 of them folks up in here, 50 million of them folks up in here, because she's just following orders. Yeah, they might be terrorists, right? It's going to be like England or London. They might be terrorists, but at least they're kids who are citizens who will be born here and become citizens in the future. They will vote for us. That's what these Democrats are thinking about. I'm telling you. We all know it's true, but this is why people got to be smart. When you go vote, man, oh, Trump didn't give me every single thing I want to. Look, man, look at your alternative and let that be the decider of your vote. Look at the alternative and let that decide who you vote for. I can't stand some of these folks. I'm going to sell myself up the river because I'm mad about the Epstein files. You know how stupid these people would have looked if Trump never released the Epstein files, then they voted Democrat, and then they would have found out all the Democrats are in the Epstein files. Trump's not even in there. Do you know how stupid you would have looked? Democrat voters don't care about Epstein files or who's in them. I told you guys that a long time ago. They don't care about that. They vote for dudes who try to get pedophilia out of the law. Oh, now you're just a minor attractive person. And if you mess around with an underage kid, you'll just go to some classes. And you can do that for forever. Every time you get caught doing pedophilia. That's what they're supporting. It's a no-brainer for me. It's a no-brainer on what and who, I'm either going to support or not support. But some of these people just like to make something that should be an easy decision into a tough decision. And I'm not going to lie. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Maybe y'all understand it better than me, but I don't get it personally.
And get into this.
President Trump has also ordered the government to re-examine the green cards of thousands of people. He listed 19 countries of concern, including Somalia and Burma. Minnesota has a large number of immigrants from both places. There are about 140,000 green card holders in Minnesota, according to recent estimates. WCCO's Connor White has more on the impact to Somali people living in Minnesota.
The president using a portion of his address to the nation Wednesday night to target Minnesota's Somali population.
Hundreds of thousands of Somalians are ripping off our country and ripping apart that once great state.
He's also directing a review of all green card holders from Somalia and threatened to end temporary protected status, or TPS.
Billions of dollars are lost, and
activist Christopher Rufo is claiming credit for catching the president's attention. He co-authored this article in the conservative City Journal, claiming Somali terror group Al-Shabaab received millions of dollars from the high-profile fraud schemes in Minnesota.
This story has no legs, unfortunately, but it is an attack.
Jilani Hussein, a Somali American leading the nonprofit Care Minnesota, calls it an Islamophobic smear campaign. He points to findings like this one on a similar issue from 2019, with the Minnesota Office of the Legislative Auditor unable to substantiate the allegation that Minnesotans sent money stolen from a state child care program to a foreign terrorist organization. The report acknowledging it was possible, but they didn't find any evidence.
Do you have any reason to believe that there's any truth to this idea that dollars are flowing from Minnesota to this terrorist organization?
Absolutely not, because one of the things that's a lot easier to track is money.
While dozens of people of Somali descent face fraud charges or have been convicted of fraud, the government has not brought forward evidence that any of the defendants are funding terrorism. Instead, the case is focused primarily on people trying to make themselves rich.
Man, listen. But you see how the news spins it? Well, while a bunch of Somalians then been arrested and convicted of fraud, $399 million worth. Oh, we have no proof that they're using it to fund terrorism. Bro, do you think that they're writing a check and making it out to Al-Shabaab? Do you think they're writing a check and you think Boko Haram has a cash app? It's just willful ignorance. They know what's going on. If they're not sending it to the terrorists, where's the money? You done stole $399 million. What did you build with it? It ain't just sitting up in somebody's bank account in Minnesota. That amount of money has to go somewhere. This stuff is just garbage. I can't stand these media outlets, man. They purposely mislead people. Then you have people up here, man, social media and stuff, just saying the dumbest stuff. Like, bro, did you even hear what just came out your damn mouth? Of course they didn't. They don't care. The TV told them that is true. That's why they believe it. It's absolutely ridiculous, man. It's absolutely freaking ridiculous. It's sad. It's disgusting. And then you're interviewing a Somali guy. Oh, this is just Islamophobia attack and all this stuff. Well, what do you call what Ilhan Omar does to Trump all the time? What kind of attacks are those? What would you call those? Where your politician is constantly going after the president, making stuff up, telling a lie. Everyone then forgot about the squad, huh? I don't feel sorry for them at all. I feel like these people are going to get what they deserve when they end up right back in Somalia. Go make that country great. Go scam and rob and still over there. You were supposed to be over working. We find out y'all done stole damn near $500 million. Y'all over here stealing. Supposed to be over here working. Y'all over here stealing, but supposed to be working. It's wild. It's absolutely, my favorite word, absolutely diabolical. But it's a smear on them. It's a smear campaign against them. Nobody believes. I mean, I don't believe that crap for 1 minute. No one's trying to smear y'all. Y'all doing the shit. Y'all doing it. And then lying. And then getting convicted. And Ilhan Omar, like, if he had proof, he'd take him to court. He did. And a bunch of them got convicted. But you can't take nobody to court when you got the judges and they all in cahoots. They all working to keep you from being able to enforce the law of the land. That's the problem. Hold on, sorry. I was just trying to make sure my camera is clear for y'all. Hold on. But we're gonna go on to the next topic. And it's gonna take me a second. I gotta kind of find it because I had it. But we're getting into our additional topics right now. And the first one that we're gonna cover is this guy, and I don't even have it, I don't think. Oh, do I have it? Oh, yeah, I got it. The first one is this dude. He tried to smoke his barber. Over pushing his hairline back. This dude is like, I mean, imagine that. Trying to kill your damn barber over pushing your hairline back. And for bro's hairline to be as far back as it was, he already has some bigger issues. But he just had to make it about his barber. He had to make it about his barber, y'all. This is crazy. So what you're gonna see here is the man, they're gonna argue about the dude gonna argue about his hairline. Bro gonna walk outside. Just y'all gotta watch it. Let me play it.
You tripping right now. I'm tripping. Yeah, I'm tripping. Just chill out. You don't see my shit right there, my nigga. Bro, your shit was up, bro. Guess what, bro? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Bro, I know, bro. Hold on, what you mean? You tripping? What you talking about, bro? But why you, bro? I'm like, bro, guess what? Because you your shit was up. My shit, my nigga. No, bro, I'm doing you. Bro, guess what, bro? Excuse me, bro. Don't worry about it, bro. Bro, you finna get attitude about my shit, bro. You tripping, man. What you mean, bro? You get attitude about my shit, man. Bro, you wanna beat me again, man? Yeah, because it's my shit, it's my hair, man. Bro, I told you have a good day. Hey, bro, you finna do me about.
Bro brought a gun. That's why they blurted out. Bro brought a gun, and bro said, "You finna do me in over your hairline?"
Okay, come on, push your shit back.
Hey, shout out to them little kids. As soon as that dude said, "Hey, y'all get outside," the older one was like, "Hey, come on," and they was out of there. They didn't sit up hesitating. That's why you train your kids to listen to adults, man. I know you got these heifers there. I don't my kid listen to nobody because you never know. Nah, teach your kids to listen to adults. Because when that man said, "Hey, get y'all ass outside," maybe that was their daddy, I don't know. But they didn't question him, challenge him. They didn't stand there looking dumb. They got on out of there.
That's your ankle is going right here. And that corner for corner is right here. We talking about right here. You tripping right now. I'm tripping. Yeah. I'm tripping. Just chill out.
But bro tried to, he telling the barber to chill out, but bro mad as hell. But what I would say about the hairline, right? Bro hairline is already cooked. Your hairline is cooked, bro. The fact that it was that far back already means your hairline is done. Stop putting the burden on these barbers to make magic on your recession, right? He's receding like the 1920s, right? Stop putting the burden on the barber to make a miracle. If you ready to kill over your hairline, you should be ready to pay and spend over your hairline. Go spend that little $2,000, $3,000, between $2,000 and $5,000 to get them hair follicles replenished over in Turkey. You ready to spend the rest of your life in jail when you could spend between $2,000 and $5,000 and not even have to worry about that shit no more. I'm telling you, we hyper emotional. We are, man, black men too, hyper emotional, ready to dirt bro over nothing. Just get up. I was still paying, but you could have just got up like, I ain't paying you for that, and just walked out. I promise you, if you'd have walked out without paying, the barber would not have brandished a weapon. It's just way too much for something that ultimately it's unimportant. It's not important at all. But you know, my people, man. My people. Don't play with them. That man said he takes his haircuts extremely serious. Okay? Extremely serious. And if you push him back, you push his hairline back, he gonna be ready to push your wig back. He's gonna be ready to push your wig back. We're gonna cover another story. This guy, he's from Instagram. I don't even know his Instagram, but his videos always pop up on my feed. And he's a smart dude, a real thinker. The preacher show. The preacher show. He has a video out right now. That's on Instagram. And he's talking about the fact that people will scream and holler racism, right? The white man want to hold the black man down, but no one talks about racism when it comes to the fact that you have liberal white judges releasing black criminals from jail over and over, some of them up to 100 times, never dropping the hammer on them and giving them any real time, and how these dudes then go out and commit heinous crimes against white people. So what part of racism is that? And at the bottom, he gives the faces. One of the dudes is the dude who set the woman on fire. The other dude is one of the dudes who stabbed the girl in the neck. And then this other dude, I don't know exactly what he did, but I'm sure he did something really bad that resulted in the death of that white woman. If racism is so prevalent, why are these black men repeatedly arrested and allowed to go back out on the streets only to move on to killing a young damsel in distress? You can't call that racist. You can't say, oh, the system's racist because they're doing that. If anything, the system would be less racist, right? If anything, the system is less racist because they're just letting these, dudes I would keep in jail forever. This system is letting them out. And y'all talking about, oh, the system is corrupt and racist.
Start holding judges and prosecutors accountable for all of these tragedies committed by individuals who should have never still been in the streets to begin with. I'm just wondering, because, I could have pinpointed many white criminals and outrageous crimes that they committed. I'm just truly wanting to get an understanding when it comes to the people who racialize this, yet never take into consideration the race of the judges and prosecutors. Do you really think they were mostly black? And if you ask them, would they release them into their communities after seeing that they were arrested like 300 times for attacking people at random? What do you think they would say? Why are they so quick to release them into ours? They want to talk about black fatigue like we the ones pulling the strings, like we just be protesting for people like this to come home and into our community. I guarantee you, it was multiple people on many of those arrests when they came home and knew they was coming home that was scared as hell. Because
and what he's saying is absolutely true. They try to act like black people is begging them to let these people out. Oh, well, the black people protesting and Black Lives Matter and all that. Ain't a single black person went and protested to let none of these crazy ass fools out. These are the type of crazy black folks. When black folks see them, they cross the street. Don't go over there. That crazy dude is over there. It ain't no black people begging for them to get out. It's white liberal judges, Innocence Project lawyers fighting to get these dudes released because they make more money arresting them and rearresting them than they do from just keeping them in jail locked up or sticking them in a mental institution. These dudes, no black person is asking for these murderous criminals to be let out of jail, bro. But they'll put it on us when it's what they want to do because that's how they virtue signal. I'm telling you right now, this is a true story. One of the main reasons black people support Gavin Newsom in California is because of the prison reform where he let a bunch of criminals out of jail. But most of the black people didn't care because they didn't really know that they weren't like wanting those those thugs to come back to their community. White liberals fought to get killers and murderers out of jail in California. They fought. And when those people got released and started committing crime, they said, oh, well, the black community fought for them to get released. And black people looking around like, when? You did not see a single protest in California held by black people for black people who was murderers and criminals to get released from jail. Black folks might be like, that's the homie, free the homie. But if your homie didn't kill 20 people, you're not calling for him to be released. I got friends in jail right now. People don't even talk about him. They're like, yeah, he was out there doing crime. He knew what was coming. He knew what that involved. It's BS. It's liberal, do-gooder white folks who never have to live in the same community as these criminals. Out here people like Kim Kardashian.
Because they already knew what's up. They already knew. So come on, man. At what point do we start holding judges and prosecutors accountable for all of these tragedies committed by individuals who should have never still been in the streets to begin with? I'm just wondering because,
So this dude makes a good point. I love the angle he took on that. We played a race card, but in order to play the race card, you have to omit the facts. Yeah. Oh, these black men killed white women. Oh, these racist white cops and these racist judges, right? But wait, the judges were racist because the judges saw these dudes get arrested 75 times and still let them out. That's the opposite of racism. That's the opposite of racism. But it doesn't matter. Whatever mental gymnastics you have to do to continue to play the damn race card. The race card. That's all they care about. That's all they care about. And these, I'm gonna play another video. This one, Scott Jennings dismantles a CNN reporter who is doing the same exact type of thing. The same damn kind of thing, trying to play the mental gymnastics, trying to run with the Trump derangement. But see, the beauty of this situation is now they're starting to get called out. Now, even on CNN, these people who are, I wouldn't even say they have Trump derangement. I would say that they're just creating a situation. They're trying to perpetuate Trump derangement. They're trying to make sure that the Trump derangement, they feed the Trump derangement of people who are suffering from it. Because they're journalists. They know what's true and what's not true. But if they could spin something in a way that helps to provoke Trump derangement,
question, stop what? You said they want them to stop. Stop what?
They want them to stop speaking out.
So you said speaking out against Trump. So you're saying that you believe.
Oh, shoot. I accidentally deleted that. Damn. Hold on. We're going to start again. My bad, y'all. I did not mean to do that. Here we go.
Wait, can I ask you a question? Stop what? You said they want them to stop. Stop what?
They want them to stop speaking out.
So you said speaking out against Trump. So you're saying that You believe that inherent in the video is that Donald
No, I
Trump
never
has
said
given
that.
illegal orders.
No, actually, what I will say about
Because what Abby argues is that they're just stating a fact, but you're saying it's speaking against Trump.
Because they speak
If
out
it's
against
speaking
Trump in
against
other
Trump,
ways.
then you
They
took the
speak
message
out-
the way they
speak-
intended it. You took it the way they intended it, which is that Trump has given illegal orders,
He is
and you
not-
can't name
hold
one
on.
and nobody else can.
Hold on. Let me just say that Congress has a role in ensuring that there are whistleblower protections when people come out
So
and
you
speak
believe
out
there are
when
illegal
something. I'm not saying there is. I'm
Oh, I
saying in the
do.
Biden administration.
Okay.
I'm saying in the
I
Biden
believe there are illegal
administration,
orders.
there were whistleblowers. In other administrations, there have been whistleblowers. And what happens, it's Congress's responsibility to ensure that these people have protections wherever you are in the federal government and whether you're in our military. This has happened throughout administrations.
So
and
you-
if they have reason to believe that there is something to.
Wait, can I ask you a question? Stop what? You said they want them to stop.
So this whole exchange by Scott Jennings and I don't even know this lady's name. But there's this situation where you had Democrat politicians make a video telling military service members that they should not follow the orders of the commander-in-chief, the president of the United States. And then they tried to walk it back and say, oh, well, we said they shouldn't follow illegal orders. So then Scott Jennings is asking them, okay, what illegal orders should they not follow? Because these people are trying to insinuate that Donald Trump has given some illegal orders to the military that the military should not be following. They say, well, oh, there's no illegal orders, but we're just reminding them that if there are any illegal orders, then they're not obligated to follow those illegal orders. And what it really is just trying to sow a seed of doubt within the minds of the military personnel. Something doesn't go your way, you don't get the promotion you want, whatever, or the president gives you a order to do something and you now hesitate because you're like, man, is that illegal or legal, right? It's just planting a seed, trying to create a spirit of division and paranoia within the military apparatus. And it's wrong to do. And there's several countries covering, there's several channels covering, this situation and calling these people out, but they're still trying to spin to make it seem like they weren't doing exactly what we all know they were doing. I covered it in another video, but I had to go after this. I had to talk about this video because she got caught red-handed. She got caught red-handed trying to spin a story in favor of the narrative of the Democrat Party, or in favor of a treasonous, really. It's really a treasonous narrative that they were trying to promote. The military that keeps us all safe, you're trying to divide them up. And like I keep saying, how do they benefit from it? That's my question. How does a senator benefit from telling the military not to obey the president? Well, of course, he doesn't. He benefits from it because China benefits from it. And China is paying him, people like Mark Kelly, paying them to come and help them undermine the United States military. You have to ask, how does the person saying this benefit from what they're asking for? And that's when everything is revealed to you and everything becomes clear. These people are in it for themselves. They're just using you and your sympathy or empathy for them or your trust in them. They're using that to basically steal from you. It's absolutely ridiculous. But y'all can let me know what y'all think about that in the comments. So let me see if I can find what this guy's talking about. In Memphis. Hold on. Let's see. So it's a Memphis man, and he kills his mother. Is this the Nutbush murder? Hey, tell me in the comments. Is this the Nutbush murder? Hold on. Oh no. Kills mother. I keep getting one guy, but I don't think this is it. Where did you get the story from? Let me see. Hold on, let me see. Oh yeah, this is the Nutbush murder. Okay, cool. All right, we got a video on this one. We're gonna cover this. Memphis man in a double homicide kills mother and decapitates mother's boyfriend. Man, these drugs is something else. This guy had to be on drugs. This is wild.
We are learning new details on 2 murder investigations that happened at the same Nutbush house on the same day. It all happened on Helsley Street on Wednesday. That's where a man is accused of killing his mother and then his nephew. This after police initially cleared the first crime scene. ABC 24's Ezekiel Telemaco joins us now with the newest report that lays out what led police to that scene in the first place. Ezekiel?
Okay, so he killed the mother, his mother, and his nephew. So it wasn't the mother and her boyfriend. It was the mother, his mom, and his nephew.
Ruben, some of these details are extremely graphic. The report identifies 36-year-old Arsenio Davis as a suspect. And we got our hands on both police reports. Officers say that several people identified Davis before the gunfire erupted. Now, this is a video of Arsenio Davis in a Shelby County courtroom this afternoon. According to the first affidavit, the homicide happened around 1:30 on Wednesday morning. Officers say that they were called after someone flagged down Tennessee Highway Patrol troopers about a shooting. When police arrived at Helsley Street, they say that they found 73-year-old Betty Pratt dead inside of her living room from a gunshot wound to her head. Now, medics pronounced her dead at 9:49 a.m. Investigators say that the witnesses identified Davis as the victim's son and that he was seen holding a gun to her back. Shell casings were found outside the home, and multiple witnesses picked Davis out of a photo lineup. One witness told police that Davis was known to carry 2 Glock handguns and had been in a drug dispute days earlier. Now, police say that hours later, around 9:30 that same morning, detectives and DEA agents returned to the scene after learning that Davis had come back. They say that he was standing outside the home wearing bloody purple latex gloves and had his face with blood as well. Now, when officers entered the home, they say that they found his 15-year-old nephew dead in the kitchen. Investigators say that the teen had several stab wounds and puncture wounds and one arm partially severed. Now, in court, the judge read charges that Davis now faces.
Sir, you're charged with second-degree murder, being a convicted felon in possession of a handgun, possession of a firearm, the commission of a dangerous felony. With regard to those matters, the most serious offense you're charged with is a Class A felony. You face 15 to 60 years confinement on a Class A felony.
Now, according to the affidavit, a woman told investigators that she dropped off the teen at the house after the first homicide. Police say that body cam footage showed the victim entering that home. Now, investigators say that they also recovered bloody clothing from a backpack Davis left in the backyard. Court documents show Davis was convicted on cocaine possession charges in 2010 and sentenced to 3 years. He remains in custody tonight. In studio, I'm Ezekiel Telemaco.
Yeah, this guy's just a monster. He's crazy. Already, see, this is what I'm saying, man. If we use common sense, that protects everybody. Why is your grown-ass son a drug dealer, already convicted, got out of jail, still selling drugs? Why are you letting this man live up in your house? If this dude is comfortable with selling drugs out of his own mama house, it ain't no telling what this dude is into. Why is your grown kid who's a dope dealer selling dope, already been convicted once, why is he living in your house? That's my baby. Well, look what happened to you. Your baby didn't kill you and decapitated your nephew. See, when people is into stuff like that and up to no good, man, get the hell away from them. They are not operating or acting like civilized human beings. So why do you keep trying to force them into civilized situations? Now she dead. The little nephew, he dead. And this fool gonna spend the rest of his life in prison. Just 3 lives wasted. 3 lives wasted. That's it. I hate this. I hate this story. And he just sitting there looking like he got no remorse. Oh, well, business as usual. Boy was probably on that Scante when he did it. But hell no, you on dope, you smoking it, you selling it. I don't want to be around you. I don't want to be around you. Because just the fact that you're doing something illegal and you selling up out your mama house, I already know you don't give a damn about your future. So if you don't give a damn about your future, I know you don't give a damn about my future. I'm not even going to delude myself. This guy needs a death penalty. Zard, you say he shouldn't get a sentence at all to be released. He should get the death penalty. That's crazy. And he looked like he don't even care. Just flip the hell out. All right, guys, I'm going to read the super chats. Hey, don't forget, we're trying to hit 10 $5 super chats. We already at 1, 2, 3. Mac 00, he became a member. Shout out to bro. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for becoming a member, Mac. So I count that as 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we have 4. Oh, Michelle, my girl Michelle N, she shot 5 in the Cash App. So we have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm gonna count Michelle's as 5. I mean, we need 5 more if y'all want to keep going. But if not, that's okay. We can end here. I'll read these super chats. Y'all going about y'all business. We already been here 2 hours anyway. But let me get through these super chats. If y'all send before we get through these super chats, we keep the party moving. Because somebody in the comments dropped that subject and I covered it. So let's start with RS7RV. Thank you for the $2 holler. I appreciate that. Blessings. Keep bringing truth against that fruit. Hey, man, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate the shout out and the $2 holler. And he came back again, my brother. Here's one. Keep pushing it, B. Keep pushing it, B. I most definitely will, man. If I got news that you can use, I'm definitely going to spread the word. Laughing like Sagat. A man of few words. Thank you to you for the $5 holler, my bro. Shout out to Africulture Concepts. He's a member and he's contributing to the stream. Get the Kushites. Get the Kushites out. Oh, he took it there. He's going historical. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate that. And my bro, Mac 007. He's in the building as a new member. First tier, baby. Thank you so much. And I'm about to start producing members-only content. It's probably going to be mostly like a day in the life type stuff. Me just going out and doing things and me just dropping jewels and all that. That's what I want to do. That's what I want my members only to look like. You get a little bit more of of a view into my mind and how I think about things and just the stuff I'm doing out here in sunny Southern California. And I'm going to document I'm going to go on a trip. I'm not going to tell y'all where. I think I already told y'all, but this time I'm documenting everything, and that's going to be on members only. So make sure you tap in to the members only. Thank you guys so much for watching this. We're getting back. We're inching back up. Look, we're inching back up, but we got to stay strong in the faith and motivated. And I'm here. I didn't wait till the New Year's to do a New Year's resolution. I said, I'm going to get cracking immediately. So we handling our business, y'all. Thank you so much for watching this. I appreciate every single thing you do for me and this channel. Till the next time, do me a solid. Take care of yourselves, but most importantly, please take care of each other. Till the next time, peace.